Welcome in, Mia L. Gratitude for tapping out the live. Hey, Rosie. Hey, Holistic. Welcome in. You guys know what to do. Share it out. Y'all know my favorite thing to do here. Help people beat attorneys and these administrative law judges. Gratitude for sharing out the live, tapping out the live. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to be talking about what I got here on the screen and other totally wild things attorneys say so we can stop being afraid of these folks. Stop thinking that they have some type of superior knowledge or even way of thinking, because often it's the attorneys that suffer the same illiteracy, the same miscomprehension, the same misapplication as some of the folks that they talk about and laugh about. I have a question: what to do if a default judgment? Do a relief from judgment. Look up relief from judgment in whatever the jurisdiction is that you're near or the case is in. Relief from judgment. What type of case? What was the subject matter of the case? Yeah, debt collection. Yeah, do a relief from judgment. Look into it, or I know it's gonna seem strange, but what we typically do is just notice the court of the jurisdictional error. To be honest with you, whenever there's any kind of debt allegation, in those administrative courts, both the plaintiff and the defendant have to be legal persons, and you don't just become a legal person simply because somebody writes your name in all caps. Hey, Livy, welcome in. Gratitude for being here, guys. We're just getting started. We've only been here about 5 minutes. You're welcome, Z. If you stick around, you'll comprehend why we use notices and why our notices work. Most people are told to jump directly into motion practice. So, file a motion to vacate or a motion for relief from judgment, which is similar, which are simple things. And a motion for relief from judgment, which is similar, which are simple things. And it's more direct to abate the situation by letting them know that you were the wrong party in the first place. That's like, a silver bullet that is not taken as serious as it is because it's an unpopular strategy. Welcome in, Big Boss. I thought you said you were going to change your name. I got to wait 5 more days. Okay. Big Boss says, I always say some people are born to serve. Are all so-called judges, are lawyers? Then why do a motion? Just because you can. You can do a motion. You can do a motion, you can do a notice. Just because you have options doesn't make one right and the other one wrong. You can do a motion or you can abate. Is all I'm saying. I prefer to abate because you can always do motions later, okay? But my first step is going to be to abate. And you can abate by notice. You can abate by notice, letting them know that you are aware that there's an error on the record. That doesn't matter. What difference does it make? Is a motion asking? Perhaps. But what difference does that make? Just abate and hold liable after. Abate by notice. My next goal. Yeah. That's the first thing. That's always, in our community, it's the first thing. In most communities, they don't even talk about notices because everybody, skips past that part because it's not sexy, right? Emotions, you have to do appearances and, some people like to get down like that. Some people have fun like that. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Some of us just don't want to do that. We just want other options. If we're not going to go, we know we're not going to go. I just want them to pay me if they want me to show up. Nobody rides for free. I want them to pay me if they want me to show up. If you're not going to pay me, I'm not showing up. So if a motion requires some type of showing up, of course, in your motion, you can demand that the judge take action sua sponte. You're going to make me an indecent proposal? Okay. I'm a married woman. The least you can do is give me some money. That's right, Livy. Show me the money. We not friends. If we were friends, I'd show up. So is Nick yes, this is him. This is him, Names. This is him. He's into the social contract. And you see how he has the nerve to like cry, laugh, react? He cry, laugh, react, okay? It makes it so funny because I'm going to read to you guys some research that I did on Nick's statement. Because I'm always curious why these attorneys just talk so reckless as if the Constitution and statutes are actually difficult or, to read or difficult to comprehend. If you know a few basic principles like reading the definitions with comprehension and also the rules of construction. This is how we win. This is why we have success. Some people think that we're actually saying the same thing that other people are saying, and perhaps we are. However, they're ways of saying something, okay, that are more effective than others. Can we agree to that? Can we agree that that's true? There are ways of saying something that get different results, even if it seems like it's the same thing. And when we're newer to this study space, we're not so keen on that difference. I've actually heard people accuse us, oh, well, they're saying the same thing over there. Well, maybe, but we're getting different results. It's all just words, right? We all have the same 26 letters of the alphabet, correct? We all have the same 26 letters of the alphabet. Some of us are using it and getting relief, and some of us are using it to prejudice and harm ourselves and our situation. So we got to call attorneys out when they say stuff like this. And not just the attorneys, something against them personally, but the mindset that they have, that they could just social contract, like it's some foregone conclusion and everybody's included and there's nothing that you could do about it. You're just bound to have to suffer their administrative larceny of our time, of our life. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to wait till we get some more people in the room. We're going to get some more people in the room. We're going to tap it out. We're going to share it out. Gratitude for those that shared it out to 13 other folks now. Gratitude. What's up, Reggie? You got Thailand over Korea, I hear. Yes, Nick has returned. Look at what he said. Look at what he said, because that's what we're going to talk about. Nick be talking more than some of the people in my community. Nick allegedly doesn't follow me, but he's one of my frequent commenters. Can't hit on Nick. We might not agree with what Nick's saying, but what he's doing is helping the whole community. I was chatting with myself. I mean, my digital twin translates Sanskrit language to proper focus. It's never long with this lawyer. It's so weird. And he has the nerve to start off with the cry, laugh, react like he about to school us. Man. So we're going to go over 5 points of why whatever this dude just said is misleading. It's misleading. It's misleading to others, but it's revealing as well. It's revealing a mindset of these attorneys. Wouldn't you guys agree? That's why I love when Rafiki invites me to, what is it? Consumer Credit Angel or whatever. Malika's ready to extract this. By the way, he came on not last week Thursday, but the Thursday before. He came on live. It was amazing. And he stayed for almost an hour and a half. And we just uploaded that section of the hour and a half with him on contradicting himself and showing his cognitive dissonance. We separated into its own video from the regular Thursday. So on YouTube. So go to the Lawful Living 007 channel on YouTube. It's one of our long form videos that recently got posted. You guys have to watch it and watch him contradict himself. Watch him agree and disagree in the same sentence. It's weird, right? But here's the thing. Most attorneys are just like that. Thank you, Truth Seeker. It's a crash course in statutory construction. You're using the rules way too much. How dare you use the rules of how to comprehend the statutes every time you read one? We are over applying the rules. Who's ever heard any shit like that? Tap it out, y'all. Reggie. He said we are over applying the rules. Everybody heard it. We had like 70 people on the live watching this guy. Like, he's saying it. He's typing it himself. I mean, it's different when you're on the panel and you just like have stuff fly out your mouth, right? That's different. But how are you gonna type it and then hit enter? Okay, you asked him to confirm what he said. So y'all go watch the YouTube. Don't let us suffer from confirmation bias. Always be objective. Always be willing to listen, because you're probably going to learn something either about yourself, about who you're talking to, or at least their avatar. Because there's lots of people, they're like, a type. They're like a personality type. They're not even like real. They're a personality type like this. This is a personality type. This is an archetype. I've heard of bending the rules, but never making them too straight. Okay. I gotta pin that. You're using the rules. You're overusing the rules. Who says that? Who says if you're playing any game, how can you can somebody explain that? How can you over rules of any game that you're playing? I don't care what game it is. I don't care if it's the SPC game, the UCC game, a basketball game, any business that you're playing. TikTok, you're trying to get into TikTok shop, right? If there's rules, you can't call foul when you foul again. Look at you, right? You already called foul once. How you gonna say foul again? Bitch, stop fouling. Could you imagine you playing a card game? You're playing spades. You're playing tunk. You're playing Jim Romy. And somebody you're over applying doesn't that sound like a cheater? What you get married, you're over applying your vows. You take an oath of office, you're over applying your oath. Look at you over following your oath of office. Is there such a thing? Or can you over follow the vows in your marriage? I'm just thrown. Hey, Daniela, welcome in. Gratitude for liking out the live. Yeah, that's Frank Truth Seeker. He changed his name because he watched them. He was inspired by a movie, but now he can't change it back for a week. Yes. Can you overfollow your vows? I mean, if you playing a game, any game, can you overfollow the rules? It was just a ridiculous thing to say. Yet this guy, he says it. He's saying it. It's recorded. I mean, now it's memorialized on our YouTube channel, Lawful Living 007. Make sure y'all subscribe. I would think he's not serious. No, look, he's straight. He's serious. He is for real. This guy, and that's what makes it funnier when you realize like he's buying his bullshit. He's buying his bullshit. When we get to 50, I will share my research on just this statement right here that this fool said. And the reason, of course, that this is important is because this is, there's lots of guru abuse syndrome. Yes, modern men. he's dead. Yes, Black Swan. But what I want people to do is see themselves in Nick. And what I mean by that is in this law study space, there's lots of near truths. It's like it's so close. It's like, damn, it's almost there, but it's not. It's not quite true. And what attorneys accuse the layman law study folks of is sometimes what the attorneys do. It's the insanity we speak of when we want a example. Yes, but for us too, we have to, my goal here with this conversation today is to have us see ourselves in Nick. Be aware of when we might be doing what he is doing. Because just like how, welcome in, hey lady, Jazzy Bay, I felt bad right after he thought I was on his side. God, I appreciate this community so mucho. I am so grateful for each and every one of you being in here. I know you guys could be anywhere else, including hanging out with your family that you probably don't even really like. But here you choose to invest some time with yourself and share with me. And for that, I am forever grateful. I appreciate your gifts. I appreciate your tap outs. I appreciate your sharing to invite other people to this conversation. I like to keep my conversation fun, as you guys know. Hey, Juju, welcome in. I like to keep my conversation fun and funny because, you got to laugh. You got to laugh, especially be able to laugh at yourself. And this is why I am encouraging all of us to see if we can see ourselves in Nick. And if not yourself, perhaps somebody that you know, perhaps somebody that you do or used to follow. Some things are just so close to truth, but not quite there. They're not quite there. They're okay to discuss in theory, but it's not real. Hold on. My plant says it needs to get watered. Yeah. And not just Nick, okay? Like I said, we got to see ourselves in the situation. We got to see ourselves. We got to see people that we know. We have to see communities that we may be a part of, whether we are just a participant or whether we were part of the leadership of other communities where, again, you're close, but no cigar. You're almost there. It's like when people say things like the all caps name means that you're dead. What? Or similarly, the all caps means that you are a corporation. He wanted to go together in all that conversation. Okay, look, some of us, again, we are not all the way there. We might be close, but we're not all the way there. We say things like the all caps name is either DED or it means we're a corporation. And that's just not true. I hope you guys are aware of that. That is just not so. The other thing is that the misreading of case law. For example, I saw a video earlier somebody reposted talking about how the United States citizen is a United States franchise and owned by the United States, and it's taken out of context. It's totally taken out of context. Trucker T, welcome in. Welcome in off duty. You want to come up on the panel? Right. It's better referenced as one's legal entity or public. Right. But even that has to be, again, defined. It has to be clarified. It has to be distilled. And so that it doesn't lead to miscomprehension and therefore misapplication, because that's what's happening. Our miscomprehension leads to misapplication. What's up, broski? So if I didn't, for example, if I didn't create the legal entity, then it is not mine. I just got to tell you, gratitude, more graphics. Welcome in. Hey, Rosie, thank you for tapping out the live. If we didn't there is a maxim of law that says one can control what one creates. One can only control what one creates. So if I didn't make the entity is not mine. And typing my name or an entity's name in all caps does not make it a corporation. It also does not make it DED. I never understood how people couldn't get that common sense. I'm surprised you awake, bro. You was up late. Why no? Because it was late for me. And I was like, look at off duty. Yes, love of Christ. I'm saying the straw man is a straw man argument. The straw man is a straw man argument put out by internet gurus to keep people paying them for shit they do not need, to keep people in amazement of things that are not true. But it sounds, provocative, and it gets the people going. The straw man is a straw man. Yeah, I'm talking about, you mean like the straw hat? The straw hat or the straw outside that I sometimes bring inside on my boots. So gratitude for the daily heart, me. Seven got both his personalities in here. Good question, lover of Christ, because that is what I'm saying. The straw man is a straw man. It does not exist. Not in the way that it's being presented by the internet guru that are causing guru abuse syndrome, and therefore miscomprehension is leading people to patient of the law and getting made fun of by people like this guy here, right? That say wow and crazy stuff. Let's see if we can get to 25 viewers in the room, guys. When we get to 25 viewers in the room, I'm sorry, 50 viewers in the room. What am I saying? We have 25 right now. When we get to 50 viewers in the room, I will begin my conversation about why this is misleading and also telling about the mindset of certain attorneys. And I say certain attorneys only because I don't want to be intellectually dishonest and say all attorneys. It seems to be all the ones that we've met so far. Okay? So I will definitely say certain attorneys. Yes, gratitude, lover of Christ. Appreciate you being here. Yes, Seven is posting where you guys can get into our classes. And to use a phrase that I got from our brother here off duty, it is definitely about concept correction. It is absolutely about concept correction. Using examples like this guy right here, this attorney, and using examples of the miscomprehension. I don't know if it's from illiteracy or what, but lots of people say things and they say it with their whole chest. Like a United States citizen is a United States franchise, but then they try to make it seem like it's talking about regular people. It's not. And so when we think it's talking about regular people, we start making poor, irrelevant arguments. Poor and irrelevant arguments. Are they true arguments? Mostly they're true arguments, but they are irrelevant and misplaced. And they get stricken down by courts. And then the first thing we do, instead of examining what we did, is say, They are corrupt. And I'm here to tell you, they is. But there's a way to control them that is very important that we master. We got to master it. I would just want to say that I know that one of the reasons that Big Boss, aka Frizzank Black, is one of our biggest supporters is because he's like, you mean I don't have to actually learn any of that motion shit? No, you don't. You can stop them with notices. But should you learn the motion shit? I'm going to say yeah. Especially if you're going to assist other people. You're going to want to learn. You're going to want to learn it. You're going to want to learn what to use it. If you're not helping people, notice your life away. Okay? That's where Frank is probably going to stay. Frank's going to be like, I'm fishing. I'm out here fishing with my boys and girls and my wife. And I'm just going to send these notices off. All right? We have people that come to us. See? I know. We have a woman that came to us. She's not the first and she won't be the last. Okay? And she said, I just don't want to go in there. So everything that we go over, every strategy that we choose to launch is to not have her to go to court. Make the agents do what they're supposed to do without her having to go into the court. She filed a counterclaim, y'all, and she don't even want to go to court to talk about her own counterclaim. She's like, I just want the judge to do what they're supposed to do. I'm like, okay. She's like, I don't want to go in there. She's already beaten she had a private tenant in her second home in New York. And I call it the second home, even though it was her first home. She decided to move to somewhere else from New York, got another home, and rent out the first home, right? So I call it her second home because, of course, she's not full-time living there. She put somebody in there, private arrangement, and then they tried to take over her house. And they tried to take advantage of the fact that she was living somewhere else, nowhere near that property. She tried to take advantage of her. And we already helped her to do a private eviction. Not to be misconstrued with a self-help eviction. Some of y'all not going to get the difference. Some of y'all will get the difference. Let's tap it out, guys. Let's see if we can get 50 people in the room so I can start talking about why Nick's comment here about this social contract is both misleading and an example of the mindset. It's illustrative of a mindset carried by many attorneys, at least all the ones we've dealt with. Yeah, she said, I don't want to go. So I was like, okay, you don't want to go? Let's consider this and maybe consider that. And she's like, yeah, I want to do this and I want to do that. We just provide the menu and you go, okay, yeah, I want to do this and this. Yeah. The main thing to not have to go to court is to beat the boots off these attorneys, sweep the legs. And don't use any so-called the government is illegitimate argument. They have no idea. They heard and repeated. Yeah, right names. But again, remember, with both sides of the aisle are doing it. And when I say both sides, meaning the people in the law study space are doing it, and the attorneys on the other side are doing it. And there's some of us in the middle eating popcorn, right, Seven? You might want to not say it like that. You might want to say it another way. The other thing I'm always going to warn you guys of is communing with people that ain't got no receipts, listening to people bigging them up, right? They have no receipts. They have nothing to show that they have done for themselves. They have nothing to show that they have helped a single man or woman implementing whatever it is that they're pontificating, even if it might be true. This is going to be good. Yeah. Lover of Christ said, that is my problem. You buying them? We're not buying any receipts. I got 2 more receipts for y'all, guys. I got 2 more. I ain't even posted yet. Hopefully 7 beats me to it. Because I'm lazy. I just want to share what he posts. So I just want to share the stories. Okay. I mean, I might do a little clip myself too, but if I might not get to it. For real. Then when you ask, they block you. I mean, there's somebody who authenticated some paperwork and there are people in the comment and they posted it on their TikTok page. And when people come asking them, so what does this mean? What does this do for you? They didn't answer. And after the first couple of questions, I was like, I think they're not answering because they don't have an answer. They accept I'm just doing this bullshit because the internet guru I follow said that this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to do next. Okay. It's okay to not know though. You know what I do when I don't know something, right? I research it. And if it don't make sense to me, I don't care if it's the right thing to do. I'm not doing it. Okay? I don't know about everybody. If I research something, because I have faith and trust in myself, in my gut, I know that I have intelligence. I have wisdom more than intelligence. I have discernment. And if the shit does not make sense to me, I am not doing it. I'm not going to start doing it, do it halfway. And when I get a question, I can't answer shit. I'm not built like that. I'm not built like that. I'm going to ask some questions.
It's like, I mean, not even look at your reasons. Hey, yo. That is hilarious, y'all. Y'all are so hilarious. Yeah, I do be tough. Remember, guys, tap it out, share it out. Only good ones. We get 17 more people in. Going to live. Attorney Dick is saying things without, you know, fully giving us everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, and I'll speak on. Yeah, yeah. She knows she's muted. She's on the call. She's aware. Like,
All right, guys, I'm back. I got a phone call from my team. Some of you guys know the just started a homesteading page, brand. I don't even know what you want to call it. And we started a YouTube. We made our first video post yesterday, and it's at 1,500 views. Yes, from yesterday. First video. Okay, so we didn't get to our 50 views. Hey, you got you. Lien holder hired attorney, a debt collector. Lien holder. Did the lien holder hire the attorney? Is that true? Is that a true statement? Yeah, I'm muted because I got a phone call.
probably someone with servicing rights, not enforcement.
Yeah, but he said lien holder. But the thing is, do we know that to be true? Do we know who the lien holder is without maybe an audit or a confession?
It's definitely not.
Okay, that's why you said debt collector, lien holder. You should put it in quotations. Lien holder, lien holder. Gratitude, Jafar. Gratitude for the daily heart, me guys. How do you get a what? How do you get right? That's the question. That's the question, lover. How did you get the lien rights? Yes, there is class tomorrow. I'm having my class because class happens on Thursdays. Whoever can make it will make it as usual, and whoever cannot make it will not make it as usual. But we are going to be on. That was actually the question that I got. That was the phone call was for. Are we having class tomorrow? Yes. Do we have class every year, regardless of the day, on regular days? Yes, we do. With the petty laugh. Yes, you gotta get the petty laugh. You with your tongue out. Say that again, bro.
As long as your jaw isn't broken.
What lien are they alleging to hold? You got you. They mad, big mad. I'm standing on business as usual. As usual. As usual. Gotta stand on business. Who sent you? Remember, that's the first question to ask. Who are you and who sent you? Okay?
He said
Who got a response?
response to his appeal.
Who has to tell us?
Petty.
Lord Petty.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, who sent you? Got the lawsuit typed up and ready to file after the holidays. Yeah. Yes. All right. So we're almost 30. Are we almost 30 minutes in? And we can't get to 50? We can't get to 50 views, guys?
People hitting the eggnog early.
Oh, are they? Y'all slurring and stuff?
Kidding.
Gratitude, more graphics. Well, we're gonna get into it because we're not gonna let our day ones, our hardcore people suffer because we are attempting to bring the views up. Gratitude. I know you shared, bro. I appreciate you. Are you answering questions right now? I'm answering a couple of questions right now, but I'm mostly talking about this comment right here and what it reveals. Not just about the individual who said it, but about the industry that they have that trained them to think this way. He's an attorney. Getting out of debt says I got pen and paper ready. So here we go.
You gotta have your comprehension ready too.
Yes. So I uploaded this image right here into our well trained by our team member right here, off duty alibi, trained by him personally. Rafiki, you already know, bro. The key word is theory, which is why my response right here is keep that bullshit to yourself. Keep your theory, which has no basis nor support in law. Keep it. Keep it, okay? Keep it. Don't bring that around here now. Look at what he says. I asked the bot to explain why this attorney Nick. Remember, this bot is trained by Hassan, so if y'all like it or don't like it, it's on him. If y'all want similar programming, make sure you contact him.
Let's see what happens.
Okay?
Well, almost 5 more people there.
Yes. We're almost there. We're at 44. So yes, I said good or bad, it's on him. If y'all like it or love it, y'all want a bot program, contact off duty, okay? This is definitely miracle like for me. And mainly because I bring my real eye.
Word. That's the only way it really works. I mean, it's because we've recognized that a lot of people will try to either credit or discredit themselves and others because of the use of a large language model. But what we've recognized is most people do not have the intellectual prowess to use a large language model.
Yes, or definitely not to program it. I realize that if you don't program it well, you will get all types of crazy stuff. From the beginning, I will just say Hassan has assisted in making sure that this version doesn't hallucinate. And when one of the reasons that I avoided AI is because of the alleged hallucinations. But I realized that it's user error, especially when it comes to the programming. So the programming is what goes into the back end. The because I'm the GOAT, free woman, and I'm surrounded by greatness. So people want to be next to me. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. People want to be people want to be next to me. People want to be next to my people. People want to be me. I'm just going to keep it honest. It's been like that. That's why I'm saying it. I told y'all. I had one young lady that went to college with my sister. After she met me, she wanted to be me. She cut her hair off.
The single South American female.
No,
Okay.
she was a local, a Yankee.
No, there's a movie called Single White Female.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yep.
so
It was just like that. She even had the nerve, and this is where I had to draw the line. She had the nerve to send my manslave a message talking about she had an erotic dream.
it's creepy.
Right. She even went into business with me so that I had to see her. I had to see her one last time. Well, yeah, it was the one last time because it was not going to be no other time after that. Yeah, this I'm telling you. I'm telling you, when be yourself, be yourself. I'm sure it's awesome. Even that girl, I'm telling you, that girl Tameka Lindell Thorpe from Path to Freedom. I'm telling y'all her whole name. After she met me, she started telling people my story. She suddenly had 20 acres as well. Did y'all know that?
It's quite a few imposter syndrome havers out there, even to the point where they'll overly compliment you, but we already know they're setting it up to, you know, diddy it up in the background. No
Oh
big
my
deal.
God! Oh my God!
I mean, just remix your words. That's what I'm saying. Or no, let me say Jay-Z. You know how Jay-Z was at one point in time just always spitting Biggie's lines?
Yeah, you
And,
see?
you know, so yeah.
Yeah, somebody said I definitely can't. What? Because I wasn't on TikTok when she was on TikTok. I wasn't. I was building quietly in the background while she was in the foreground being boisterous, like she smoked 20 packs a day
Does that balcony look familiar?
with
Well, it should.
with a face for radio. Okay.
A face for radio.
Yes,
Stop
she has a face for
it.
radio. Y'all already know.
Alcohol is a hell of a drug.
And then the good thing is though, as the good thing is because she was so busy name dropping me, I met a lot of great people referred to me by her. Does it mean that she's not a piece of shit? No, it does not mean that she's not a piece of shit. It just means that I'm grateful for the people that were that I met. Okay, sent to me. Thaddeus and his wife being two of them. A lot of her people stopped rocking with her. Yeah. And
Yo,
from day one, right? So much fallout. When people come into our community, not only do they stay around for a long time, even if they leave, they come back.
I was quoting Caleb. Does that balcony look familiar? Well, it should. That's where
Yes,
she
from the
lives.
beginning, from when I met her in 2018. See, look, Tony said that's how I found you. Shout out, Tony. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Yeah, what's up, Tony?
Yeah.
Funny.
When I called her out on Facebook, on Instagram last year, she had the nerve to comment, "Oh, when I paid you to do that class with me, was I scamming then?" Yes, bitch. Yes, the fuck you were. And you were trying to use my good name to make the scam easier. How did I meet Quayne? Quayne heard me talking about exercising your dominion. And he's like, I gotta get in touch with that lady. This is how I attract my team. My team is greatness. And they recognize greatness. That's why they reach out to me. My people hear my voice and they know it. Y'all ever heard that phrase before? This is why I put myself out here. My people know my voice. Here goes another one of my people. Welcome in, broski. Free house, free house, free house.
It is.
Right. You see the theories. We about to talk about it now. We close, guys. We close enough. We're at 45. We're gonna get it rocking. So I asked my play about my people because our creator don't play about us. Okay. Anybody that can hear the sound of my voice, we are one. We are in this together. Okay. And those who are repelled by what it is I'm saying or how it is I'm saying it or how I look while I'm saying it or whatever, fuck you. Yeehaw! So explain why this attorney right here, Nick, is misled and misleading others about this social contract, quote unquote, he refers to here as it relates to the Declaration of Independent Intent by the principle of consent of the governed. Anybody ready? Y'all ready to rock and roll?
Yep.
I'm going to read the prompt again. Explain why this attorney, Nick, is misled and misleading others about the quote unquote social contract he refers to here as it relates to the Declaration of Independence. Intent by the principle expressed as consent of the governed. The bot says, here is a clean, principled explanation you're looking for without internet lawyering, fluff, and grounded in actual legal theory versus political philosophy. Why Nick is misled and misleading about the social contract and quote, consent of the governed. Nick's comment blends political theory, post-founding administrative doctrine, and modern statutory enforcement assumptions into one blob and then presents it as settled law. It isn't. What he describes is not, I repeat, not what the Declaration of Independence meant by consent of the governed, nor how that principle operates in American law. Let's break it down precisely. Number 1 of 5. We got 5 parts, guys. Tap it out. Keep tapping it out.
Tap, tap, take tap.
The Declaration of Independence is not talking about elections, Nick and other attorneys. It's not talking about elections. The Declaration of Independence predates modern democracy. You fool. Administrative states, universal suffrage, and statutory positivism. It predates it. When the Declaration of Independence says, quote, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from consent of the governed, it is not describing voting, majoritarian rule, permanent blanket consent, and irrevocable submission to all future laws. That's not what it's talking about. That's not what it's saying. I don't know why anybody who claims to have gone to law school and passed and practicing as a lawyer would even say these things. I'm going to read that again. When the Declaration of Independence says governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from consent of the governed, it is not describing voting, majoritarian rule, permanent blanket consent, and irrevocable submission to all future laws. That is not what's happening. Instead, it is a limiting principle. Government only has quote unquote just powers where authority is delegated, conditional, and revocable. Definitely mentiroso. Definitely mentiroso. All day. Straight up liar hole. And the problem is not that he is misleading. The problem is he genuinely thinks, believes perhaps even, because he says it. You'll see it when he's like, I'm trying to make sure that people know that they're being misled when you guys say blah, blah, blah. How about when you say blah, blah, blah? Who calls you out? Or do you prefer to just be believed simply because you went to law school and passed, even though you have no comprehension of the law? A lawyer that is legally illiterate can't even comprehend the superior law called the Declaration of Independence. They have a permit, and that's enough. They have a permit that they cannot get until they go to law school and pass. Yet he has one and has no comprehension of the Declaration of Independence. So this sentence is immediately followed. The sentence about consent of the governed is immediately followed by, quote, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. Does that sound like we have to wait on a vote? Does that sound like we have to wait on elections? Thought lawyers were intelligent too, especially when I was almost wanted to be one. I almost was going to be one. I was this close to going to law school.
I was considering it too.
And then I had a baby and I was like, I think I'm going to be a mom. I always wanted to be a stay-at-home wife anyway. Shout out to my master to make that happen. I love you, baby. Yeah, I'm having a baby. I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. And then that baby turned 18 and I was like, that law stuff's still kind of intriguing. And now here we are. So here we go. The sentence is immediately followed by, quote, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. It is not a democratic process clause. It is a jurisdictional boundary clause. I could pass the bar exam right now. I bet you I could take the bar today and pass that shit right now. There's people that take my as above, so below class and can pass it. And that class is free. So that sentence is not about democratic process. It is about jurisdictional boundaries. Nick's framing deletes the limiting language. The attorneys don't want any limiting language. They don't want anything to be a limitation to their belief of their power. Number two, that was only section number one. This is section number two. The quote unquote social contract theory is philosophy, not binding law. How y'all like that? He's talking philosophy under the guise that he's talking law. The social contract theory is philosophy, not binding law. You can't tell me, well, Malika, you're supposed to follow the statutes because social contract. Where the hell is that? What law says that? I'll wait. Nick says, this is called social contract theory. Ha ha. This is a giveaway. Social contract theory comes from Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau. Exactly. Who signed that? How are you going to tell me just because I'm born, I'm in it? Hey, there go one of our favorite sections, 48 CFR 52.212-5. Nick is an attorney. Nick is an attorney that frequents my page and frequently comments even more than some of my lovers out there. Nick be helping the algorithm push my content more than some of us on here. Okay, social contract theory comes from Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau. These are philosophers, not legislatures, not judges, not constitutional drafters, acting in a vacuum, free context. They're not. These are philosophers. I don't care what kind he is. He had to go to law school. He had to pass and at least pretend to comprehend law. I'm used to that, lover.
Philosopher.
The key point is the United States did not adopt. Listen, I'm going to say it again. The United States did not adopt the quote unquote social contract theory as positive law.
Correct. It might be used to like analyze principles when coming to a decision pertaining to that which.
Something administrative, some administrative something, some administrative something.
Got you.
Right? When you agree to work at Target, you agree to not date your coworkers, for example. Okay? That's that social contract. That's all I'm saying. That's that social contract. Where when you started working here, you said you agreed not to date your coworkers. That's the social. That's not law though. That cannot be applied to anybody outside of that administrative organization. Okay.
So like people work in factories, they got to sign a contract that says, "I will not have a work wife or work husband." Is that what you're saying?
Or whatever you got, or I'll wear stockings if I show my legs or whatever.
Gotcha.
That's that social contract. You won't talk about your sexual exploits at the water fountain and embarrass everybody else around you. Those are the types of social contract theory. Okay, that means we have an agreement within this society, but I have to be part of your society in order for that to be applicable to me. It just can't exist because you agree to it. It can't be applicable to me because y'all agreed to it. Does everybody comprehend the difference? Does everybody comprehend the difference? He's talking about the social contract theory. And it says here, the United States did not adopt, quote unquote, social contract theory as positive law. The founders explicitly rejected Hobbesian and Rousseau style total sovereignty. They embraced a Lockean limited delegation, which assumes pre-existing natural rights. Nick. Woe unto you, attorneys that ignore pre-existing natural rights because you want to enforce this social contract bullshit. Correct, truth seeker. You cannot use your cell phone while operating as a driver in the company vehicle. That's that social contract theory. The Lockean limited delegation assumes pre-existing natural rights, which apparently are offensive to public agents. Our natural rights, yeehaw, somehow is offensive to public servants. The government, which also assumes, on top of pre-existing natural rights, government as a fiduciary. Oh my God. If the government is a fiduciary, listen to me carefully, guys. If the government, or should I say, since the government is a fiduciary, that's right, Glenn. Since the government is a fiduciary, guys, listen to this. Are corporations that incorporate into the government, regulated by the government, are they also fiduciaries? If the government exists to regulate and incorporate, remember that's what they're called, corporations. What do you think they're incorporating into? If the government is a fiduciary, what about who they regulate, like the corporations? Are they fiduciaries? That's why I go in these stores and I take whatever I want. I don't care what nobody say. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. Y'all could be mad. Y'all could be sad. Y'all could be angry. Y'all could even call the policy. I don't care. I don't care. Fiduciary, let me get this one right here. Bloop. And if I have to swipe, I'm claiming that bitch back. Fiduciary. Ain't gonna be no theories over here. I put everything to the test. I fuck around and find out. And what I found out is I can do what I want. Government as fiduciary. It also assumes power limited to enumerated purposes. What enumerated purpose could the government have to regulate private people's lives? Which one of those enumerated powers that they do have is regulating private people's anything? Where do they get that?
Doesn't exist. It doesn't exist anywhere. But what Nick is trying to, I guess, maybe say is that because you're here or whatever, or because you're on this land principles, right? Like rules of construction, this social contract theory situation being at the foundation of things. But it's like, I think too, Nick's thing is you just can't
Look at the
light
last sentence.
yourself.
That doesn't mean you have an individual right to not consent to the government applying its laws to you. Look at
That's what
that
I was
last
getting
sentence,
to.
guys.
That's what I was getting to.
Look at that last sentence. That doesn't mean you have an individual right to not consent to the government applying its law. That is a ridiculous statement. That is you know why it's ridiculous? Because at all times, guys, at all times, the burden to prove applicability is on the government. At all times. At 100% of the time, the onus is on the government to prove applicability, not assume it. It don't matter if I consent. Like I said, misleading and showing that he too is misled. And not just him, but people from his society. Just like how when we say stupid shit, it reflects on the society, the layman law study groups, we'll call them.
I get by saying that a foundational principle isn't your means to, meet your objective. You know, it's like, well, you can use the rules of construction and this theory here to alight yourself from the problem. I mean, who doesn't know that? But we're saying that at the foundation of remedy are these things, and you're talking about what theory? Social contract theory. I mean, you're saying that to someone who's going to see it, like off duty alibi. Like, I
Right.
mean, is that not the whole thing when it comes to off duty alibi? You're just not my
That
social
doesn't
media
mean
brand.
you have the
Talk about the
individual
idea.
right to not consent to the government. I don't have to. The government has the onus 100% of the time to prove with admissible evidence, not just blah, 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 hearsay, nonsense. They have the onus 100% of the time to prove that it is for an enumerated purpose. To prove. Okay? No presumptions of universal submission, guys. That's what that statement from the Declaration of Independence means. It is not, it means no presumption of universal submission. These are folks this guy went to law school and passed.
There are 11 children outside running, playing hide and seek. A 12th child comes out, and the one it goes, tag, you're it. And then when everybody, comes back together from hiding, and that 12th child asks, did y'all see me put my toe in to be eeny, meeny, miny, mo when y'all started this game? That is the playground court way of saying the record does not reflect that at the time relevant, I can be tagged.
I wasn't playing with y'all.
Period.
It's not about me having an individual right to not consent. It's about, bitch, can you prove it? Exactly, Godly. If China can't enforce their laws on me, neither can the United States. Not just because I exist, I'm breathing in and out. My parents may or may not have popped me out over here. Come on. Nick is presenting a theory as if it were binding doctrine. This is sometimes what we do in the law study space, unfortunately. And this is what every attorney that we've ever encountered does. That is misleading and proof that he too is misled. Now, this is part number 3 out of 5. This is 3 right here.
Yo,
Quote
hold on,
unquote.
time out. Sis.
Okay.
Read that one. If you benefit from the society, then you are participating in it. Man, that tickled me just now. Go ahead.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that? I'm so curious.
That is so funny.
I benefit from the birds and the bees society too, but I am not in it. I am neither a bird nor a bee.
Malika, checking your stinger. Hush. Go and build that honeycomb.
Can you explain how that if I benefit from my neighbors not keeping bullshit in their yard because it's an eyesore. But I'm not gonna
Malika.
go over there and clean it up if it's fucked up. I'm not gonna do it.
Malika, I'm going to write you a ticket for obstructing pollination. Now get outside and pollinate those flowers.
Yeah, let me here I go. Here I go with my finger.
Hey, yo, that's what I said, man. Oh, I love when people make those comments, though, man. Don't stop, though. Please don't be embarrassed either, guys.
Man said, if you're willing to come up, if you're willing to come up and explain how just merely, I mean, I'm benefiting from somebody planting coconut trees in Florida, but they can't tax me. Like, what the fuck? How does that make sense? How many people are on the outside watching this live, benefiting from it, and they're not gonna get taxed, and their view is not gonna count towards my live. Perhaps
Love
they're
this.
haters. I don't know. Perhaps they're embarrassed to come inside. But how can something affect? That's like the COVID thing. You wear a mask so somebody else don't get sick. That's what we doing right now.
If you don't live off grid, you should not be claiming sovereignty.
Is that in the
Oh
chat?
my God. Yes.
Can you
Oh my God.
do you see how funny that is?
Oh,
Seven.
that is, yes, yo. That's
I
why I
mean,
read it.
so can I? Does that mean I get to talk my shit right now, bro? Does that mean I'm qualified to talk shit all I want? Because y'all come up in here and don't know who y'all talking to. I am off grid, bitch.
That is
What are
so
you
funny.
saying?
Even
That's
when I'm in a
so
crowd,
hilarious.
I'm still private.
Let me pop my collar. Cause bitch, I've been off grid. I'm off grid. Right now we having this conversation. It's
I
so
was
funny.
I came on my mother's womb off grid.
We all did. And solar powered.
Well, not to some people. Some people think that since you benefit from some society, that you're participating.
I don't understand how. I don't understand
It's
how.
classic. Thank you, man. Thank you for the laugh, Mensa Mike.
Yes.
I don't know who you are, but that was classic, man. Comedy. Hey, Lord Petty, you got to run for your money, bro. You got another comedian on the scene, man. And Lord Petty's an actual professional comedian. Like, Jesus Christ.
So we're talking about this comment right here from an attorney. For those who don't know, this is an attorney that likes to troll the law study space, and I don't knock him for that because some of us do be on here with some bullshit. However, he be on here with bullshit too, and a lot of his attorney's friends be on here with some bullshit too. So just like they can call us out, we can call them out too. Okay. So here's number 3. Quote: consent of the governed, end quote, does not equal individual surrender of rights. Tell a friend. Quote unquote consent of the governed does not equal individual surrender of rights. Nick claims, quote, that doesn't mean you have the individual right to not consent to the government applying its laws against you. This is a category error. A category error. No one claims an absolute veto over all law, except attorneys, of course. Attorneys definitely claim absolute veto over all law. They like to accuse us in the law study space of that, but they are at least just as guilty, if not more, because we didn't start the fire. No one claims absolute veto over all law. What is claimed and historically supported is this: government only has authority within the scope of its delegated jurisdiction. Government only has authority within the scope of its delegated jurisdiction. So that last sentence is a ridiculous thing to say. That doesn't mean you have the individual right to not consent. Bitch, they have the onus to prove. Peace, welcome in. They have the onus to prove that whatever they're talking about is within the scope of their delegated jurisdiction. I don't have to consent or not consent because if I'm not in their jurisdiction, it doesn't matter if I consent. Can a dog just walk on a football cleat and say, ruff, ruff, throw me the ball, even if the dog could talk? Can it just walk onto the field and say, put me in the game, coach?
See, yeah, it's funny because Malika, by us, actually, I've replaced a lot of other so-called pastime with watching body cam footage, watching court cases, listening to attorneys have their Zoom powwows. So when I'm seeing some of these comments, the first thing that come to my mind is these are jurisprudence virgins that haven't had their cherry popped yet. So
Some of them. And
and
again, that's why
it's
they
still in
ask
chat.
questions like, if I posture myself like an agent, is it okay if I pretend to apply the Bill of Exchange Act? No, it is not okay. It will not work. You see what Freedom just put in the chat? one of the fake pages tried selling him a course. 5K? What course is that? That's right, climatic. It's like forcing yourself on a woman who don't even like you. It's like, just don't do it. But these are for some reason attorneys think that they can do that. They can just force things. They can force consent. They can manufacture consent. They can expand jurisdiction
I have a question. Who doesn't
outside
move
of the
like
legislative
Warriors?
intent, and then tell you stuff like you're using the rules too often. You're overusing the rules of the game.
I want them to specify who does not move like gangsters or warriors. I'm curious because I think my reply too to them that there is no debate because debate is for beatdowners. If one is comprehend the etymology of the word debate, the debate is usually for people who they're really great pressure relief valve openers. That's about it.
10K won't get you a lot because my all access pass is not even 1K. So I don't know. Maybe I'll make gift cards, y'all. For 5K, y'all can get like 7 people in the in all the classes.
All right, Malika, is the floor open for people? They
Who
are
wants to
brave
come up?
enough. I don't know one yet,
Well,
but
I
I just
wanted
want
to
to know.
invite that guy that says if you benefit, you're participating. Like that's crazy. That's like saying if you're chewing food and I just start swallowing, I'm benefiting from what you're chewing. They got to come up and explain that.
Yeah.
If you can smell my food, you should be getting full too. Yes, right? So this is what I'm reading, Freedom, from the analysis of what Nick said here. Okay? Especially that we got to the last line where he said that doesn't mean you have an individual right to not consent to the government applying its laws against you. First of all, that always depends on who that you is. That the government does not have authority to just apply their laws against whomever they wish because the government only has authority within the scope of its delegated jurisdiction. If it was just carte blanche, why would they even have a delegation of jurisdiction? Why would there be 18 USC 7? Why would they be Article 1 Section 8 clause the whole thing Article 1 Section 8? Why would they be that? Why would it be there limiting what they can make rules for even if it was just whoever they want, wherever they want? So if the government acts outside enumerated powers, regulates private conduct without public nexus, again, remember, regulates private conduct without a public nexus. This is what we're allowing them to do. We're allowing them to act outside of their enumerated powers because the people who go to law school and pass help to gaslight by saying stupid shit like this, and we just let it ride. If the government acts outside of enumerated powers, regulates private conduct without a public nexus, converts natural rights into regulated privileges without disclosure, apply statutes beyond their intended class, then consent is legally irrelevant because authority never attached in the first place. Nick and other attorneys, the consent is not what created the power. The consent legitimizes the exercise of power that already lawfully exists. Consent cannot create authority where it did not already exist. This is why on a basketball court, even one of the other players getting paid legitimately on the team cannot just walk onto the field as a sixth man and be like, well, what else you gave me the uniform for? What else you told me to come to work for? I'm here. Let me play.
Climactus or climacticus. Yeah. Very Yoda of you, as I'm doing my best to in the context in which you're chatting, but it is convoluted at best. What I'm asking is that you specify, what
Maybe
it
we
is you're
were
speaking about.
sleepwalking, climatic. Maybe we were inebriated. We were sleepwalking because again, just like I keep giving the example, it has to be within their authority to attach in the first for the consent to even attach. Consent is irrelevant when it's outside of their delegation of authority anyway. This is why sometimes when people yell, "I do not consent," I kind of chuckle to myself too. Because if what you're doing is private conduct, Without a public nexus, any consent is irrelevant. We don't even have to argue consent. You weren't supposed to be minding my private business.
Sense can't sign something under the influence,
But
right?
even if
Even
I
under the
did sign
influence
it,
of
if I signed something that I had to be acting as a public agent in order for my signature to be legit, and I wasn't acting as a public agent, then my signature is not legit, and it doesn't matter if it exists on that piece of paper. I didn't have any capacity to even sign it. So a signature appearing on the paper still doesn't legitimize it. It still doesn't empower it to be used against me. Because only if I was acting in a certain capacity when I signed it would it be relevant. Would it be applicable? Would it be enforceable? This is why when they go, isn't this your signature right here? That's a trick. Because who cares if my signature is right there if I had to be in a certain capacity when I put it there and I wasn't? The record doesn't reflect that I was. There is no admissible evidence that I had capacity to autograph that paper. The appearance of a signature on it is not what legitimizes it.
See, that's why I wanted them to come up. I told you it was a conversation. Y'all know I can feel better than I can hear sometimes. So when I get that, spidey sense tingling, it's like,
We are.
okay.
We're recognizing our power, and we're recognizing when the attorneys are talking BS, and also when we are on that side talking BS too. It's very important. So let's go. Number 4, elections do not equal consent to all laws. Participation in elections does not equal consent to all laws. I'm going to say it again. Participation in elections does not equal consent to all laws. Nick asserts, quote, in a democracy, consent refers to elections. This is modern administrative convenience, not constitutional logic. This is modern administrative convenience, not constitutional logic. Voting selects representatives. It does not amend the Constitution. It does not waive individual rights. It does not authorize unlimited statutory reach. It does not bind non participants by default to non enumerated power. If elections were total consent, then the Bill of Rights would be made meaningless. Jurisdictional challenges would be impossible. Minority rights would not exist. Due process would be optional.
Again, yes, that's correct, sis. And to speak to most people haven't read the rules. So usually loopholes in theories are
Exactly.
effective. They are effective against those who do not know the rules and the objective.
No, this is just sometimes we have to recognize when we're just talking to a pessimist. And when you are regularly helping people achieve what some poo-poo and say it's impossible, we all know it's mindset. Okay? We know it's
Correct.
that. So if you're struggling with your application based on your comprehension, you might want to re-examine your comprehension and perhaps make different com- uh, apply different comprehension.
Must be one of Nick's buddies.
But Freedom made a true statement. He said if elections were quote unquote consent, non-voters wouldn't be bound by the laws, but they are. That's true. But it's only to non-powers that are enumerated. Again, courts themselves reject that premise every day that Nick is asserting there. And number 5, we're at the fatal omission. And this is typically what attorneys don't like to talk about. And they don't like to talk about it because if they assume that the government's power is all reaching, and they believe things like you don't have individual right to consent to the government applying its laws against you. When they go off of things like that, they always omit jurisdiction, because to them it's always implied. Not just Nick himself, but a lot of attorneys. Nick never addressed jurisdiction because quote unquote social compact rhetoric collapses when jurisdiction is examined. I'm telling y'all, this is how we beat cases. This is how we beat cases. This is how we win cases as plaintiffs. This is how we beat cases as defendants. Nick never addressed jurisdiction. The real legal question is not, did you consent to be governed? That's not the real legal question. And I'm saying that because, again, even some people in the law study space will talk about this colloquially amongst ourselves. We'll say things like, did you consent to be governed? But that's not how you put it down on paper. Okay? That's not the way that you communicate the question. The way to communicate the question is, Did the government have lawful authority over this man or woman, their conduct in this location under this specified power? That's the question. That's the way you phrase the question and that's what's going to make the difference between whether you're probably going to be called a sovereign citizen and then you're left to argue stupid shit like that's an oxymoron, which nobody gives a fuck about, or if you're going to be taken seriously. It's not, did you consent to be governed? That's the question. It is, did the government have lawful authority over this man or woman doing this particular conduct in this exact location under these enumerated powers? Whichever one you're going to put in there. I'm giving you guys platinum, uranium, okay? Rare and expensive shit that will make the difference between whether the strategies you devise will work or whether they will not work. You could be telling yourself, I'm speaking the truth all the time. That don't mean it's going to work if you misframe it. Consent cannot cure lack of subject matter jurisdiction, lack of statutory applicability, ultra-virus enforcement, misapplication of private conduct, misclassification of private conduct as public. I'm going to say it again. Consent cannot cure lack of subject matter jurisdiction, lack of statutory applicability, ultra virus enforcement, misclassification of private conduct as public. Consent cannot cure that. The Declaration of Independence principle exists to prevent this exact abuse. Number 6, why this argument persists. This argument right here that Nick is making, that attorneys in his society are making, this is why it's dangerous, yet it persists on both sides, in my opinion. The law study space, this is rampant too. Nick's framing is common because it makes enforcement easy. It avoids, I would say, expands limits on power. It converts all rights, including natural rights, into government permissions. It treats all people as administratively owned unit of the united states. It treats regular people, not part of the administrative scheme, as administratively owned units of the united states. But ease of enforcement due to ignorance, gaslighting, low intelligence, or illiteracy does not equal lawful authority. Ease of enforcement due to gaslighting, indoctrination, and or illiteracy does not equal legal authority. The Declaration of Independence is not a fairy tale preamble. It is the foundational limit on all claimed government power. Reducing it to, well, you voted once, therefore you submit forever, is not law. It's post hoc justification. So the bottom line is, Nick is wrong because he treats political theory as binding law, like most attorneys. He equates elections with total, irrevocable consent. He ignores jurisdictional limits. He strips consent of the governed of its function and restraint on power, and he reverses the burden, forcing the people to disprove authority rather than requiring the government to prove it. This isn't constitutional literacy. It is administrative mythology. That's it, guys. That's what I got for you guys. I made it into a little 2-minute video, and I'm going to be posting that a little bit later. But I'm going to be ending this live now because I got to go with my off-grid self.
So is Nick being esoteric? I'm sorry, I was muted.
Yes,
Is
he
he being
was.
all esoteric and metaphysical?
Yeah, absolutely. With his mythology and doctrine, because he thinks he's the king of Zamunda, or the attorneys are kings of Zamunda.
It's cold outside. Can you guys make sure Climacticus gets their straight jacket and medication?
Look, try to be comprehensive. Try to comprehend why somebody may seem to be talking crazy.
Well, I
Because
asked them, what
sometimes,
are we missing and what are they struggling with? But they never replied in the affirmative or in any kind of way that we can be able to comprehend who we're talking to now and who we're talking to from what they're feeling within themselves.
Why don't you send some of your silent gangsters I don't know what that means. Are you looking for a fight? You might want to just call the policy officers near you. They typically are up for it. I'm not. Gratitude, Mr. Flu Ellen. Hope everybody's having a great time. Yeah, but we gotta rock and roll. So I appreciate you guys
And
investing the
yo, there
time.
goes Strelnikov. Look, what guy came?
When you guys
Don't go, Malika.
I got
Strelnikov
you, I
showed
got
up.
you, I got you.
Oh no!
I know it
They
was
said
getting
Nick
so
is
good.
absolutely correct.
I know.
I wanna.
It's okay. Hey, look, go ahead and launch your Zoom. Maybe people will come over there. Invite Strelnikov. Okay. And let's read the Federalist Papers together, maybe.